Welcome. Hopefully we're going to be able to stream tonight. It's been, I think last Thursday was the last day I actually had a good stream, but I've just been really sick, been really tough to stream, but we're back. Hopefully for good now. Let me skip whatever song this is. This stream, I'm going to start the stream off a little bit differently, or just not normally. We're still going to do all the normal stuff. We're going to be going over Bitcoin, the stock market, the ongoing trades, some potential new trades. We're going to go over everything. I'm even going to do ticker requests. So get some popcorn. We're going to be here for a minute, but I actually want to start off this stream with some education. I want to talk about day trading. For most of you who know me, most of the trades I talk about, most of the time frames I look at are all swing trades, right? That's my main focus. That's what I'm best at, right? That's my primary method of trading. But especially in these market conditions where, you know, the S&P looks pretty overextended, questionably, that's even a word, overbought. You're at the top of the wedge. You know, the MACD went over to red. Just looks a little bit overextended, and you might not feel as comfortable getting into swing trades, you know, now that we're at these super high levels. And let's say you want to day trade, right? I want to really start talking a little bit more about day trades. I've been sharing some day trade ideas with premium members, but just go over the education on how I look for day trades and really what I look for in my day trades. So if you're looking to learn about that, I'm just going to really cover a few things, and then we're going to get into like the normal stuff. So make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, check out the description for all the links if you need any. Let's get into it. All right. I don't like this song either. So, all right, we'll just go with this song. I don't want to keep on complaining. So with day trading, right, you really have to, it comes down to two things. Are you going for a reversal day trade or a continuation day trade? Are you trying to day trade something that is currently red on the day and you want it to bounce back up? Or are you trying to day trade something that's already up and you are trying to see the continuation in that momentum, right? That's the first thing you kind of want to do on your day trades. So it's pretty simple, right? A green stock is a continuation trade, a red stock is a reversal trade most of the time. But the way that you day trade a continuation and a reversal play is very different in terms of how I do it. And again, two different people are going to tell you different things on how to day trade. At the end of the day, it comes down to preference. I'm just showing you how I prefer day trade. Even before I get into what I look for on the charts and everything, how I find my day trades, it really could be through it could be through a bunch of different ways. Social media sometimes, if a lot of people are talking about a stock. Trading view itself, I like seeing the highest volume gainers. I want to know where the volume is going to, right? You want to know where the money is going to so that you have an equitable day trade. So that there's enough money flow for you to get a nice profit. There's enough movement in the price. Otherwise, you're going to be playing for what, like a 1% move? I mean, it wouldn't really make sense. So look for high volume. Typically, things that just people are talking about. What's hot? What's the hot thing for the day? I use scanners sometimes. I like seeing the heavy option flow. We're going to go over tickers later on in the stream. I'm just covering some day trading education right now. Yeah, look for high volume, look for heavy short-term option flow. There's a variety of scanners you can use. Tradedix is my favorite one. And yeah, those are the two main things, so volume and heavy options flow. That's really how I scan for my day trades. And then, like I said earlier, decide whether you're looking for a reversal or a continuation in your day trade. So if you are looking for a continuation, a stock that's already going up, these are the things that you're going to look for on that day trade, right? Hidden bullish divergence. Hidden bullish divergence you can only get when you're making higher lows. You need to get a higher low for hidden bullish divergence. So really all you're looking for is that like intraday from your previous lows down to your current low. And this is not an intraday chart, this is like multiple days, but you get the point. If you made a higher low, you want to look at your MACD and your RSI and see if those made a lower level of negative momentum, right? So for the continuation trades, number one, hidden bullish divergence is a big thing that I personally look for. Number two, there's a bunch of different other factors that you want to be including. Your VWAP, right? If you are playing a continuation trade, you want to look for something to break above your VWAP, right? Because that means that there's already volume, that's already starting to move. You're looking for your stock to break above this VWAP. And off that VWAP, when you get that break, is your confirmation that intraday you're breaking a resistance that other people are looking at. The VWAP is probably the most common indicator that a variety of day traders use. So not only are you going to be seeing the VWAP breaking and you're going to be buying off of that, other day traders are seeing the same exact thing, right? So it just gives you more confirmation. So just imagine that you get a move up in the price, you break over the VWAP, your hidden bullish divergence confirms, high volume, okay? When you're looking for a continuation day trade, you want to make sure that you're getting a volume confirmation. You want to be in that day, you want to be in day trade during the hottest part of the day where there's the most money flow, right? So you're looking for the big volume signals. So ideally what you'd be looking for on this chart is a run up to push over the VWAP, MACD crossover to green, RSI starts curling up, and you get a big volume spike on that bounce up. That's what you look for. And then how do you target your day trades? Let's say you buy it right over here on the push of the VWAP, right? Obviously look for resistances. One very common thing to do if you're breaking to session highs, that's when you want to go on to those higher time frames, right? So typically on your day trades, you're going to be on the 1 hour and under, but if you're breaking to session highs on a day trade, that's when you might want to go over to the 4 hour and the daily, zoom out a little bit, and then find those previous areas of resistance. So we can see over here, if we're entering on the break of the VWAP at 22, you have a resistance up here from this candle high at about 24. So maybe you can target 24, right? So those are the types of things you look for in continuation day trades when the stock is already showing momentum. If you're going to be playing a reversal day trade, it's a little bit different. It's pretty much the opposite. Instead of hidden bullish divergence, you're going to be looking for classic bullish divergence, right? Where you're making lower lows on price, but from one MACD island to the next one, you're going up. So I already found an example of that. So let me take out the VWAP for a second. All right, right over here, you see the price is going down. You're looking for your MACD to do this. From this island to the next one, you're going up. Okay, so you're getting that inverse correlation, that's your divergence, the classic bullish divergence. So on the reversal day trade, you look for this to go over to green. Then instead of looking to push over the VWAP, right, because most likely if you're falling down, you broke under the VWAP, right? So if this is falling down, you're looking to flip over it and get into your support, right? So not only are you just trying to get one big push, it's like right over here. So you can see as the price was going down, you went over to green, you even got a couple hammer candles right over here. This right over here was your buy signal, right? With your hammer candles, you broke over your VWAP. Yes, you fell back under, but you were holding within the range of the VWAP, right? You were not bleeding down. So one bad thing is when you fall under your VWAP and then you start bleeding down. If you fall under a VWAP during the day and you're actually just chilling and the price is not really dropping, that could be a good sign that it didn't really matter too much, right? So you go sideways for a little bit and then boom, you see that big candle that popped up. And this is obviously me looking at it in hindsight, but these are the kind of things that I look for. Another thing that I use very often on day trades is the Bollinger Bands. So just for some context here, on this current, like literally where the price is right now, earlier today, this is Microvision. It was down like 26% at one point today. And at pretty much, I think it was 1940-ish, I shared with the premium members that I'm looking into it for a potential day trade. Looks pretty interesting. So it was 1940. I think it was about like 3:30-ish when I sent it to the Discord. And I said just looking to see what it can do in the next, hour or a couple hours, whatever. I think the exact word was power hour, but it did run after hours. And it was 1940. And you can see over here on the first test, right? And it's changed because like the market's closed, but it was bouncing off the lower Bollinger Band, right? So it didn't look like this when I shared it. The Bollinger Band was right over here where it kind of pivoted. So you can see it was holding that lower Bollinger Band. So you're looking for a reversal trade. And not only did you bounce here once, you bounced here twice, okay? And just for some context, that was 1948 when I shared in the Discord. After hours, it went up to like 2150 or something. So that would be like a 10% move in a few hours for the premium members today, if you saw the alert. And then there you go. So that's really what you look for on a reversal day trade. Of course, you want to be, if the price is dropping during the day, you want to scroll out to or zoom out to your higher time frames to find your supports. You can see, why did you double bottom at 1928 on the 30-minute chart? Because if we go out to the daily, that was your resistance here, resistance right over here, resistance, resistance. Even if we go way back in time, like really way back in time, let me go on the weekly right here. You see this 1928 level? All the way back in 2011, resistance. So for a very, very long time. And now for the first time on Microvision, you're trying to flip that into your support. And you held it not once, but twice today. For the first time. 1928 is now your support. So now I'm kind of going away from the day trading education and just talking more about Microvision. Very interesting going into tomorrow. Yes, it was up like 5% after hours at one point. Was down 24% today though. But you're trying to flip 1928 into support. If you can hold that tomorrow, this one looks pretty interesting. Obviously, there were far better areas to enter this. Wall Street Bets has been on it for a long time. So they also have earnings on Thursday. All I'm saying is I'm just looking at it going into tomorrow for a continuation of the day trade from today. And yeah, it's just Microvision. I just wanted to start off the stream with that. I know I don't usually start off the streams with that type of talk, but hopefully you got something from it in terms of the things I look for on day trades. And then I forgot one last thing for the reversal day trades. Instead of looking for super, super high volume, you're actually looking for the opposite, right? So as the price is dropping, you're looking for the volume to be decreasing, right? So when you're going for a continuation day trade, you want your volume, so if we just take out this whole entire part, when you're going on a continuation day trade, you want your volume to be increasing, right? You want to show that the momentum is growing on the stock. So when you're playing something in an uptrend, and you're hoping for it to continue that uptrend, you want your volume to be increasing. When you're trying to catch something that's reversing to the downside and it's in a downtrend, it's the opposite. You're looking for your volume to be decreasing, which means the lower you're going, the less selling pressure there is. And you can see, as it's been dropping, the volume has been lowering. And then what happened after hours, it went up 5%. Right? So those are kind of the things I look for on day trades. Hopefully this just gives you some more clarity, because I'm probably going to be continuing to put out a few more day trades than normal. And now we could probably get back into like the regular flow of the stream. But yeah, always having a nice watch list is important as well. Profit taking, yeah, lunchtime profit taking for day traders is a very common thing most days. So in a lot of stocks, you're going to see like a little bit of a lunchtime dip. But yeah, let's get into the actual usual analysis of the stream. I know I haven't been live in a few days. I was trying to go live last night, didn't really work out, but we can actually cover everything now and talk about the markets. So just starting off with Bitcoin, very nice movement. I did cover this a little bit yesterday when I streamed, but I took down that stream because I couldn't even talk. We have that cipher playing out. It literally hit the exact pattern completion zone of the cipher. So you hit that PCZ, big move on Bitcoin. At this point in time though, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. I mean, your next major resistance is 61K on Bitcoin. Your next major support is 51K, and you're at 55.6K. So Bitcoin is just kind of in the middle of nowhere. There's not really a technical edge, in my opinion, right now. I don't see much of a pattern. It's just nice. It's nice for right now until it's not. But let's talk about the market, which is also kind of in the same scenario. It's obviously, you know, very nice uptrend on the S&P 500. But you are in riskier areas than normal because you're at the top of the wedge, and the last 4 times you were at the top of this wedge, you had a pretty big pullback in the S&P 500, like right over here. And you're up there again, but you've been up here for like 10 days now, more than 10 days. So just kind of going sideways at this point. We spent pretty much yesterday and today going sideways on the S&P 500. For the NASDAQ, though, it was a little bit of a rough day. Pretty much right at the open, you had a nasty drop, then you bounced up a bit, and then in the afternoon, you fell a little bit again. It was kind of interesting. You just pretty much, you opened up on a pretty red candle, and then for the rest of the day, you kind of went sideways on the NASDAQ. So obviously, big earnings. Microsoft had earnings today. I think Texas Instruments had earnings. AMD, Tesla had earnings yesterday. Apple has earnings tomorrow. So yeah, huge earnings week. I think also Microsoft had earnings today, so a lot of big tech earnings. Some have been doing well, some have not. And yeah, we're just kind of seeing what's the deal going into tomorrow. Sound like CHIT, bro? Yeah, my voice is just messed up after being sick for a week, but I do feel a lot better now, thankfully. And yeah, we're gonna talk about all the trades. My thoughts on the market at this point. Futures are flat right now. The market's been good to me for the last couple of weeks. If we look at the swing trades, the market's been very, very good for the swing trades. So they're performing well. As long as they continue to do that, things are good. In terms of the indices, you kind of rejected making a new all-time high on the NASDAQ today. That could easily be fixed tomorrow. If we look at the S&P 500, like I said, you're at the top of that wedge. So I'm not bullish, I'm not bearish on the S&P and NASDAQ. I'm just kind of letting them do whatever they want, and whatever they decide to do, I'll react to it. But I'm not here to try and predict every single thing. I don't know what the future is going to be. It's really a 50-50. It's not even like I have like a 70-30 probability. It's like right now for me, it's like a 50-50 on the market. So I'm just taking it for what it is. In the meanwhile, there's a lot of individual stocks that look really, really good, and they've been playing out very, very well, right? We're going to go over them, but I'm just taking it day by day. I've been day trading quite a bit more, which is why I started off the stream just talking about day trading and just some tips on that. But yeah, let's go over some tickers. Let me just go over the trades first, and then I'll get to all the chat requests. Keep hitting that like button. I know we got less people in here. Usually whenever I have like a few day hiatus, it takes a few days to get everybody back in the stream. But for everybody who showed up, thank you. We're back. Let me see if my tea is pulled down. I hope it doesn't burn my tongue, but we'll see. It is pretty hot. But yeah, let's go over some trades. We'll just start off with fubo. I don't know why this is not loading. Hopefully I'm not lagging. Voice sounds better. Producer just said my voice does not sound better. I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. We're just going to start off with fubo. This was alerted maybe like a week ago or something. And it's currently up 17% since I put out the alert for everybody. You did test the 200-day moving average today. So this was talked about. It was pinged in the Discord to everybody yesterday. That maybe you want to take some profits here because you're testing that 200-day moving average. It could be a short-term reversal area. And the trade's obviously up 17% since the alert. So fubo, this is really what it comes down to. You break over that 200-day moving average. I don't think you're going to have any trouble seeing the target of the trade. There's really no resistance until that target. Well, you do have 2350, other than 2350. If you cannot break the 200-day moving average, maybe raise up your stop loss into profit so you can still walk away with a nice profit on this trade, being that it's up 17%. Divergence on fubo still looks good. Everything looks fine except for the fact that you rejected the 200-day moving average today. And you definitely do not want to stall out here, because then you can get potential hidden bearish divergence, but it's way too early to be really considering that for right now. I alerted this trade yesterday. Really nothing happened today. Pulled back like 1%, but it's still right around the entry of the trade. So double bottom at the PCZ of a bullish Scarly, and you bounced. That double bottom was off the 200-day moving average, bullish divergence over Class C, bullish divergence, which means, no, Class B. You made the same low on price, but obviously decreasing levels of negative momentum on your MACD and a higher low on your RSI. Let's talk about Fisker. It's kind of been acting weird for a few days. You had that one good, really good day last week. It was so funny. Like the first day, Bank of America upgraded it, I believe, and then like the next day, Goldman Sachs downgraded it. So it was like one firm upgrades it, the next day one firm downgrades it, just kind of back and forth. It's kind of just consolidating sideways a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about this differently, but I just kind of see it. I'm not even going to really draw it, because you can kind of just see it. Like you're just going sideways and the volatility is really decreasing on Fisker. And that implies that the volatility is going to be increasing soon once you break the apex, right? That's how consolidation works. So I'm just looking at it something like this. There's really no perfect structure, but like it's not like a real pattern, but you can just see you had to move up, move down, tightening, 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 and then it's going to choose whatever your next big impulse move on Fisker is. I think that's going to be the sign for the next few days, right? So whenever you get like a big impulse, like a 4% candle to the upside or the downside, that'll probably be very meaningful. It's probably not going to be a fake out candle. So look for just a big engulfing candle or some sort of signal like that. But the trade's still in profit. It's up 6% since the entry. Of course, it was up 17% at one point. So big pullback off of the Goldman Sachs downgrade. Sucks, but it is what it is. Can't control it. DNLI, this was also alerted last week, I believe. Maybe the week before. No, it was alerted last week. 16% since the entry, which I believe was like last Monday or Tuesday. Shout out to Guy in Hat for the idea on this one. It was really interesting. This just to look back on it. You had a falling wedge. You had on the daily, you had quadruple classic bullish divergence. Okay. Quadruple classic bullish divergence, a falling wedge, you bounced off the 200-day moving average, and an inverse head and shoulders. For the people who say technicals aren't real, these are a bunch of beautiful technicals that were all showing up at this price point, which is when I alerted the trade at 52.70. 1 week later, it's up almost $10 per share. That's technical analysis. Falling wedge, inverse head and shoulders, moving average, bullish divergence on the 4-hour and the daily. What more can you ask for? Great job to Guy in Half for spotting this one. Trade's up 16% since last Monday or Tuesday, I think. PGRE. It's just really PGRE and Zoom. I'm just going to kind of skip just for time purposes. They're just really not doing anything for now, so no need to talk about them. ESPR had a very big pullback today. It just really pulled back hard. I don't know if there was news or what the deal was, but it was down, I think like 6 or 7% out at the lowest point of the day, but you closed above the supply line, which is important, right? The supply line, you were falling under it. I got a little bit scared, but the bulls stepped up in power hour, and you got this nice almost 2% candle, and you did close over the supply line, so you're still good on ESPR trade, still in profit by 3%. VIR also pulled back a little bit. It already hit the first target, not too concerned, and that really recaps all the trades, just so you can get like an actual graphic view of what everything's looking like for the trades. Pretty much just like this. VIR hit that target. Fubo and DNLI up like 17% in a week since I alerted them. So hopefully you took advantage of those free alerts. A few of the premium trades up, or a couple of them up 14%, one's up 9%, and then all these just up, 3, 4, 5% flat. The trades are doing very, very well, and that's, it's not too hard for all these trades to be doing very well because of what the current situation is in small caps and mid caps, but you have to give credit where it's due that, you know, I put a lot of work into timing this perfectly, because for the last like 2 months, it's been just a horrible, horrible world for SPACs and EVs and pot stocks and those small mid-cap names. And if you watched any of the streams last week, I would have gotten you prepared. Really, if you watched Monday and Tuesday's stream last week, I was nonstop saying that the small cap names, the mid cap names, they looked they looked really, really good. And 420, if you looked at 420 last week, that was like the lowest point for a lot of those small cap names. And since 420, they've had huge bounces, and obviously that's getting portrayed in the trades. So that was a thesis I came to just simply from scanning over the weekend, last weekend. And obviously we've seen the last, you know, 5-6 days in the market that the action in small caps and mid caps have been great compared to what they have been. So get back to the charts. And yeah, now we can look at some ticker requests. Got a few more people joining up. If you want me to take a look at something, if you have any trading questions that you really want me to answer, fundamentals, technicals, risk management, scanning, whatever it is, or you just want me to look at a ticker, drop all your ticker requests and questions in the chat, and I'll try to help out however I can. Short bar rocketed after their downgrade, talking about Fisker. I don't keep up too much with the short borrowing and the fees and all that. I just look at the short float. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on with Fisker. It's just, I mean, really, it's just so unnatural. Like, nothing about this is natural right now. And I'm sorry to say this, but even ever since here, like, obviously, you had that Wyckoff accumulation range. This was a trade. The entry of this trade was $15. Target was probably, I think, like 21 or something. So that was very, very nice. But then pretty much once you were hitting that target of the trade of this Wyckoff accumulation range, they had like this super crazy price targets from Adam Jonas, I believe. Not crazy. Like, I agree with him, but a lot of other people think they're crazy because he gave out like a $90 bull case scenario price target, and the price is under $14 right now. So you had a crazy run up on news, on price upgrades, and then you had a crazy run down on nothing. There was no bad news. No bad news came out. I don't think there was, maybe there was one downgrade in this area, but other than that, like, just, I'm not going to say manipulation, just no interest. The hype was gone, and you sold all the way back down. Then you had the Bank of America upgrade. Then you have the Goldman Sachs downgrade. It's just like every single day, it's just something, in my opinion, stupid. I don't care about all these little headlines. I care about the company and the fundamentals and where it's potentially going to be in the next 3 to 4 years. That's what I care about more than anything else. Not the, I just block out all the noise from the day-to-day stuff, unless I'm trading it, such as right now. I'm just talking about like my thoughts on it, like from like a macro standpoint as like an investor long term. Microsoft, I don't know exactly what happened with their earnings today, but I believe it did pull back after hours. Down about 3% after hours. Not too sure why. Yeah, for the 30 people here, you want me to take a look at a stock for you, or you have any questions, drop it in the chat. I'll try to help out. VISL. There was some sort of drone news or something today, right? The cup and handle, we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at the Microsoft chart. Clover. ZOM. Oh my gosh, wow. Market did that to pretty much all the speculative small mid-cap stocks. Yeah, definitely Meg. And that's been the case, but for the most part, a lot of those stocks have been reversing in the last, week and a half after showing bullish divergence and double bottoms at historical ice lines, which was talked about at early last week. Oh, we can look at Doge, sure. Let's look at that one. All right, we're gonna start off with VISL. This was potentially the worst trade I ever put out. I'm not gonna lie, pretty rough one. But it did go way lower after getting stopped out. It went like another, I think, like 20% lower after it hit the stop loss. But obviously now it's running back up again. This was going to be a premium trade. It's just the day that I was going to put it out was this day, and by the time I woke up, it had already started moving up. It was one of the days I was sick last week, and I just woke up late, so I never ended up putting out this trade. Maybe if it comes back down to 251, all the people who watch this stream, this is how I would manage my risk on VISL. If it drops back down to 251, the classic bullish divergence is there. It's not like a real falling wedge. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, this is a real falling wedge. That's a 5 pivot falling wedge. That's a textbook falling wedge with a classic bullish divergence. So this is what I noticed last week. I was going to put out a trade on it. Just started going before I actually alerted it, which happened so many times last week. I kept on waking up late because I was sick, and there was so many trades I had charted the night before that I just never put out, because by the time I woke up, they were up like 7, 8, 9%. So still waiting for pullbacks on a lot of things to put out swings. I have like literally 20 things that I have like charted just like this, but they're not alerted yet because they're not the entries. But yeah, at this point on VISL, remember that cup and handle. So really what Mitch Ray talks about is when you get over a 50% retrace. So let me just delete this chart for a second, right? So this is obviously your cup, this rounding action right over here. And then this part would be your handle. One thing that Mitch Ray talks about is when you get over a 50% retrace from the lowest point in the cup to the highest point, right? Once you surpass that 50% retrace, it's no longer a cup and handle. It's just you're in a new area now, right? You can completely ignore this whole entire rounding bottom because it's not a handle when you come more than halfway back down, right? At this point, it's like a frying pan or something. It's not a cup and handle. Because usually the most bullish cup and handles are when you just have like a small little handle, which shows that the bears could not drive down the price that much before the bulls break over the neckline. So I don't really look at a cup and handle anymore. I think it's a falling wedge that broke out. That's how I charted it last week. And it looks good. There was some news today on drones. So we'll see how it continues to develop. We're going to take a look at Microsoft. Down 3% after hours on earnings. I think back in January, it was in this range over here. If I'm not there. It was here. If you're in the Discord, I was telling everybody in the Discord I was pretty bullish on Microsoft, like right around over here. Then it kind of had like this little fake out, and then it went crazy when the NASDAQ moved up. At this point, though, like obviously, Microsoft's been doing pretty well this year. Let's see. You know, obviously prior to the earnings pullback, Microsoft's up like 24% on the year almost. So it's been a good year for Microsoft so far. Can't complain when it drops 3% on earnings. Anything's always possible. Clover. Let's talk about Clover for a second. Bearish harmonic on Microsoft. I guess you could look at it like something like this. I don't know exactly how you're looking at it, but that's how I'd probably look at it. Yeah, like a bearish. Wow. Oh my gosh. So technically, wow. Good one, Rooster. I don't know. This might not even be what you were looking at. This is just what I looked at. But right before earnings today, okay, right before earnings today, Microsoft was at the PCZ of a bearish Gartley, I believe. I think this is a bearish Gartley because you had a 618 from X to B, right? Pretty much around the 618. Also pretty much like a 0.60 retrace here. And then you were at the 3618 PCZ, a little bit over the 1618 here, but that's fine. So very interesting. It pulled back at the pattern completion zone of this bearish pattern. The one contradiction though is that there is some 4-hour hidden bullish divergence, but if you gap down 3% tomorrow, that's probably going to get stalled out. But good eye right there. Here's how you'd read the price action on Futu. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. But yeah, Clover looks really interesting. I put out a lot of tweets on this one. I've talked about it quite a bit in the Discord. Crab. Oh yeah. You're so right. I am. It is the crab. It's not the Garley. Because the Garley would be the 786 PCZ. It would not be the 3618 PCZ. It's just that the Gartley and the crab both have a 618 from X to B, and I always mix them up. Like, I don't mix up the patterns, I just mix up the names. Just because of that 618 from X to B. But Clover, pretty interesting stuff going on right now. Okay, I've been talking about this for a while. These are Wyckoff schematics in my opinion, okay? You had this consolidation range, obviously. You had the spring, you back tested this spring, okay, right over here. You had this big pump, which was a premium trade. It was an 18% premium trade. Then you bled down for like a week, okay? Then you had another big pump, which was also a premium trade. Both these were premium trades. Right before they happened, I put out those premium trades. It was crazy on both of those big green candles. But look at this. On this move right over here, you engulfed this whole entire week, right? So there's a candle pattern. I think it's called the Rising 3 Methods. Rising 3 Methods. Let me see. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, so the Rising 3 method, this is like a Rising 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a Rising 10 methods, where basically you have a big green candle, you have a bunch of inside day candles, and then you have another big green candle. But the Rising 3 method is usually when you only have 3 of those inside candles. And this is the 4-hour, not the daily. But you get the point. You bullishly engulfed multiple 4-hour candles in one candle. And then you broke out of this major resistance right over here. Okay. And how do Wyckoff schematics end, right? If you remember, and for the people who don't know what Wyckoff is, it can lead to things like this. This was a Wyckoff range that this was an alert back in January. And Clover looks very, very similar to when Fisker was right over here. And what happened after this? This did. So how does Clover look similar to this? Let's look at them side by side. Sure. Okay. It'll load. All right. So let me try and zoom in so everybody can look at this. Let's get Clover over here. Wow. Remember this trade? Does anybody remember this trade? It technically has never been stopped out. It's technically never even been at a loss. This trade's like been in profit since it's been out, but I did cut it out right over here when it was pulling back, and then obviously it went all the way back down to the entry. But it's still, and this whole entire range and everything that's happening right over here on Clover all started with the PCZ. So if anybody's still in this trade that I put out on March 4th, anything that happens with Clover until 1318, all I'm saying is you can thank that March 5th alert, which was like literally the bottom of the S&P falling. It was a crazy day. I don't know why the old chart loaded on the dual layout, but we'll just clear it up for right now. Look at this, right? You have this sideways range. Look, so you have a drop down in price. The chart on the left is Fisker, the chart on the right is Clover. You have a drop down in price. You catch like the lowest point of that whole entire range happens on your first drop down, right? You see this little candle wick down here, you never got that low again. Okay, over here, drop down in price. You have a very low candle wick. You never got this low again, right? So on this candle wick, you never came back down that much again. On this candle wick, you never came back down that much again. Then you run back up to hit the first resistance point, okay? You run back up to hit the first resistance point. Then you pull back down for your spring, right? Then you pull back down for your spring, which was $14.55 on Fisker. It was $7 on Clover, right? Then you have another move up to test the top of that range, okay? So on Fisker, this was your move up to test the top of the range. Move up to test the top of the range. Then you pull back down to retest the spring. Pull back down to retest the spring. This is the same exact chart, side by side. I'm showing it to you step by step. Then you run back up and you break over your resistance right over here. You run back up and you break over your resistance. Let me chart it. You run back up and break over your resistance, and then you have your backup, okay? Where the buyers are trying to flip, right? With a little bit of a fake out. Typically on a lot of backups, you have like a fake out. You broke over the range, then you kind of get back in, right? You broke over the range. Let me take out the VWAP. All right, you broke over this range, then you kind of came back in the range, but here's how Wyckoff ranges end. When you're backing up and you're retesting, you never come back down to the spring. Fisker never came back down to 14.55. Clover, for now, has never come back down to $7. And then this shows that there is not enough bearish pressure on the stock to bring it back down to the spring, and that the composite operator, the imaginary figure that controls the market, has finished accumulating his position, right? This is an accumulation range. This is what this shows. And what happens when the composite operator has completed his accumulation of the stock? All the retail buyers send it to the moon, and the composite operator wins the game yet again. Believe it or not, GameStop also looked very similar to both of these charts before the retail traders sent it to the moon, okay? Even AMC did. And Mitch Ray talked about that on his stream. But hopefully, not only that gave you like a little bit of a analysis on Clover, hopefully it also gave you some education on the Wyckoff schematic, all right? And that's the accumulation schematic A. It's pretty much the only Wyckoff schematic that I'm like 100% fluent with because I used it on the Fisker chart. So I might clip that and post it, but hopefully that gave you some education. And then also it's like real-time value on what's happening with Clover right now as we speak. So really, let's go back to Clover now. We've kind of done that side-by-side comparison. Really, this is what needs to happen on Clover for it to potentially go crazy, okay? All it needs to do is break above $10 before ever going back down to $7. And that's really easy. You're only 10% away from, you're only 7% away from getting over $10, and you are 22% above $7. So it is really, really easy to get over 10 before you fall under 7. And as long as you do that, these are what dreams can be made of, as Mitch Ray would say. But again, this is all probability. It's not certainty. It's just charts and psychology of traders. That's what charting is. You're analyzing the people trading a stock. So hopefully that was an educational rundown on Clover. Look at ZOM next. Then we got CLF, Dogecoin, and then Futu. I think we also have some more that I missed, so let me add them to my watch list. Plug. I'm gonna try and keep it to one per person for right now. So I'll do DraftKings for you game PvP. Rooster also wants to take a look at it. I typically don't chart OTC stocks because the technicals really don't matter. So, I mean, I'll look at it. If it looks crazy, please don't blame me for skipping it. It's just, I need a consistent chart, and OTC stocks are just really, really volatile most of the time. Palantir, I definitely agree with you. I think Palantir looks a little bit Wyckoff-ian. Sub Neutron Flux Labs. The sentiment of market participants, absolutely. KMPH, we'll take a look at that. So we're going to start off with ZOM. Let me scroll up. And CCIV, right? I missed that one. Jakai, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. We've been talking about ZOM for you like almost every single night on stream. Hopefully the analysis has helped, okay? I believe ever since here we've been talking about it, and it was breaking that support, and I was like, it's kind of breaking the support, I'm not too sure. It could go down to 88 cents. And then it came down to 88 cents. it fell under it for a little bit, and then I got a little bit scared. I said, I can't be bullish on this unless you get back over 88 cents. It got back over 88 cents, and then I started talking about that classic bullish divergence. It confirmed the classic bullish divergence, and boom. So like we've been on this one the whole entire movement. So hopefully it helped. All you just chatted definitely helped. Glad to hear that. And there you go. So, you know, we've been analyzing this one. Hope that you're doing better on your position with it. At this point, you've confirmed your classic bullish divergence. It was a pullback today. You actually pulled back quite a bit. Your high of the day was 130. You closed at 110. So not great, but obviously you just went from 70, you just went up like 76% in like 5 days. So can you complain that you pulled back 20 cents? It was a crazy move. You're in the middle of a support and a resistance. No. Your support is around 88, 89 cents. Your resistance is like 147. The MACD does look good. You have that going for you. Just stay above 89 cents. A little bit of hidden bullish divergence on the daily for CLF. Let me skip this song. I don't see much of a pattern. Yeah, I just don't really see much of a pattern. You had a make or break area. I mean, 1870 was your high over here. It was your resistance right here. Above it, bullish. Below it, not bearish, but you want to get above it. That's how I'm going to put it. So a little bit neutral on that. I could see going either way. Kai for short. All right, got it. Doge, this is not a chart that has data on it. Dogecoin, my favorite asset ever. Let's go on the 4 hour. Now this whole entire thing kind of looks like a harmonic. Let's see. Oh gosh. All right, we got an issue. That was one of the worst segments ever on my stream. I cannot make up what just happened. I'm going to be right back. Great. I'm muted. Great. I'm muted. It dropped over everything. my laptop, computer, camera, monitor, mouse pad is probably has to go in the trash at this point. Oh gosh, it was not whiskey. I don't drink. I'm not 21. It was tea. We're gonna have to cut the stream there. Can you believe my luck right now? I was sick for like literally a whole entire week. And the first stream I'm finally feeling better. That I come back to stream. I kind of cleaned it up by now, but like I dropped tea all over everything. So tough times. I'm sorry I have to cut out the stream before everything just explodes. I don't know what's gonna happen to all my equipment, but have a great night, everybody. I have a mess to clean up. And I hope that you got some value out of the stream, because I might need to buy a new laptop. Like that, it was the worst possible place to drop everything. I don't know, maybe if I can really clean this up, I can keep the stream going. I just want to make sure it's not leaking into anything. Wow, this is really... Look at the FTM mouse pad, it's like soaking. Rest in peace to the FTM mouse pad. I'm more concerned about my laptop and my monitor. If those are good, then I'm fine. I just hope everything doesn't get sticky. That's going to be an issue as well. Wait. No, I don't drink, Rooster. I would never drink under 21. Put the table in rice, yeah. I'm gonna have to get a lot of rice to put my monitor and my laptop in rice. Alright, somehow I've managed to dry out a lot of the equipment. For the people still watching the stream, I appreciate you. Oh my gosh, it got everywhere. Like, how is this even possible? This is why I should have been using a coaster. Alright, I think we're not good. We're not going to be good, but it's as dry as possible. So I might be able to continue streaming. I actually need to dry the bottom of my laptop now. Thank you, D, for buying me a new FTM mousepad. And for the 1111, your favorite amount to donate. That's like the 1000th time you've donated that much. So thank you very, very much, D. I just got this MacBook too. It's the new one, so hopefully it's not screwed. And there we go. It has been dried up for the most part. I think my audio's messed up now. This is like the most awkward music to have playing at this time, but the stream goes on. We can still stream for the 23 people left in here. Thank you. I'm gonna go over all the tickers. Obviously, I had a mess to clean up. And this is what I'm left with after all the damage. I get left with a tea bag and a mostly empty glass. My luck has been really, really rough lately. But you just gotta keep pushing through, right? It's all about the ups and downs. Just gotta keep pushing through it. And yeah, let's get back to the tickers after I dropped T over everything. So we were at Dogecoin and I freaked out because of the Gartley. Because it's just insane. I mean, whoa. Scrooge with the $30 donation. This might cover a hairdryer to dry everything off. Thank you very much, Scrooge. Really appreciate all the tips you've been sending as well. For real, thank you. Really appreciate it. The one-on-one class was great. Let's get some vibes in the chat for both the donors tonight. If anybody else wants to send a tip for, I'm probably gonna need a new MacBook. I'm joking, but that's always the pin chat. Neutron Flux Labs, you joined late. I dropped T over everything. Spilt T pattern, yeah, very, very bullish pattern. I did go over MVIS in the beginning of the stream. AMC, we'll take a look at it. So Dogecoin, I cannot tell you how many bullish Gartleys there have been on this chart that have played out, okay? All right, let's go way back in time, all right? This was a bullish Gartley. This was a trade that I put out, all right? It was like, it's on the 1 hour, so you can't really see it, but it was something like this, all right? This was a trade right over here. I put out this trade at 2 cents. I lured a Dogecoin, went up like crazy. So you had that bullish Gartley, and then this whole entire move ever since 7 cents up until here is also a bullish Gartley. And then when Bitcoin was dumping over the weekend, and Dogecoin came all the way down to 15 cents, you literally went to the pattern completion zone of another bullish Gartley. This is like the 5th bullish Gartley on a row I've seen on Dogecoin, okay? And then you hit the PCZ, and you ever since that PCZ over the weekend, you're up like 70%. That's why I freaked out and I dropped my T, because I could not believe there's another bullish Gartley that played out on Dogecoin. It's insane how many there have been. At this point in time, your resistance is like 29 cents really, and I really don't think you have any major supports up here because you've really never been here, but you could probably just make a demand line or something like this. You connect the 2 wicks. All right, we got a lot to look at. I'm just going to kind of go through them pretty quickly. Yeah, keep hitting that like button for my laptop that's probably broken now. Futu, I look at it like an inverse head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Neckline would be around like 168. No divergence on the daily. I wouldn't say there's any divergence on the 4 hour either. So yeah, inverse head and shoulders. I mean, if we really zoom out here, there's not even any, like this is all I see on the chart, an inverse head and shoulders. So you just have to hope it plays out. Vibes in the chat. Hair dryer and rice vibes. Plug. Triple classic bullish divergence on the daily. Looks pretty nice. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Also classic bullish divergence. It's trying to get above the 200-day moving average. If you can really get back above $30, it's bullish. But you need to get back above 30 bucks. That was your support here and support over here. All right, get back above 30, and then we're talking. DraftKings. This is another potential thing I've been looking at. And really the reason I'm looking at DraftKings right now, this again, I've not actually like alerted this, but you broke this supply line and you had some classic bullish divergence. I just think maybe it already played out. This was probably the best area to enter down over here, but again, I never caught it that low. Because obviously it broke the supply line and then it back tested it, flipped the resistance into a support right when the divergence was confirming, and then obviously after that it went up like 10%. So that was like the most optimal way to play it. So you're fine above $54, but obviously that gives you like a 10% risk just to get to your support. That's your support. AMYZ. Oh, okay. So this actually has much more data than most. Where would I pick for like the starting point? This has more data than most OTCs, so I'd probably I'm just gonna start with the actual lows. Let's see. I might have to mess with the starting point a little bit, but all right. If you started right over here, you're not at a pattern completion zone. The PCZ would be like the 886 to get a bullish bat. That would be way lower. If you do start it here, let's see, then it could be pretty close to a potential Gartley if you started it from this low. I could see going either way. Regardless of a harmonic, you definitely are breaking a supply line. Typically, the way to just target supply line breaks is a 50% to a 61% retrace. So really, this zone right over here, this could be your target zone, right? Between 145 and 164, your golden retrace. In terms of support, let's go on the daily. Not really any historical price action here, so you're gonna have to like really zoom in for support. It's probably this like 1 hour trend line would be your support. All right, that's AMYZ. Palantir, Wyckoff. There's like this one big part of the range that kind of throws it off, like right over here, right? If this never happened, I would say yes, but this did happen, so regardless of like an actual Wyckoff schematic, you definitely have a spring that you're trying to spring off of. So hold above 22, hold above this, like this is your zone, okay? If you can hold above this zone, you're good. That's all you got to do on Palantir, hold above $21 to $22.50, right? If you do that for long enough, you can go to the upper zone, which is between $27 and $30, right? It's just, that's how you're looking at it. I'm out of tea. Of course I am. AMPH, not too sure about this one. I could see this one going either way. I don't really see a pattern. There is a little bit of 4-hour divergence, but it's already playing out. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. Sorry. CCIV. My mouse pad is all wet with the tea. What Fibonacci retrace did you hit? I mean, the 50% retrace is like 25, 28. Like, again, the way to target a lot of falling wedges and channels and just supply line breaks is your golden retrace, right? This is the golden retrace between 25 to 27. That would be your target if you got in at the value entry areas under $20. So, right, that's really it at this point. Your major support is 21.13. As long as you can hold above it, it looks good. I think you said AMC puts. I know, wow. If there's any premium members in here, I know you're a premium member, Neutron Flux Labs. You remember the AMC calls that I alerted to premium when it was like $9.40? Remember those AMC calls? I wonder how much they went up. I don't know if you were in those AMC calls, because you were talking about it in the chat, but for the premium members, I alerted some AMC calls when it was like right over here. So the stock price since I alerted those calls is up like 20%, so those calls are probably flown through the roof. I haven't even looked at them. At this point on AMC though, your divergence, well, that's convergence, that's not divergence. I mean, it looks fine to me for now. Really, this is how I would look at it, right? Zoom out on the daily. Hold above 1073 and you're good. That 1073 was your support all the way back here in 2017. It was kind of acting as your resistance over here. Broke over it, gapped up over it yesterday. 1073 is what you want to hold. If it breaks under that, then maybe you could be talking puts. But over here, it's like it's so 50-50. It's up to you always. I mean, I don't know if you're looking at like the lower time frames. You look a little bit overbought, but it's already pulled back. That's AMC. What is up, Gin and Apples? I had a decent day. We'll see. Well, we'll see tomorrow how my calls do on MVIS. I'm already in profit on them, but see what happens. Yesterday and today I was up like, I think yesterday I was up 8%. Today I'm also up, I was up about like 7% on the portfolio today. So good week so far. Pretty consistent. If MVIS has a nice open tomorrow, it'll be a very good week though. I think we got, let me not drop my water. Let's see. Snap. Hat mentioned, but AUTL finally broke the wedge. It did. Momentum just turned green. I'll take a look at it. We looked at, alright, we had a very long talk about Clover earlier in the stream. You're gonna have to scroll back and find it. It was towards like, I'd say about 25 minutes into the stream is like, I would assume around there. Just use a little scroll bar and you'll find it. But we had like a 10-15 minute talk about Clover. If you want the quick summary, I said that you want to get above 10 before you fall under 7 and you're good. And obviously that doesn't sound too hard because you're pretty close to 10 on Clover. Snapchat, there's so many stocks that have just never seen the light of day, that never got alerted, but I charted them and they looked great. You had a falling wedge with classic bullish divergence on Snapchat at a support. I never put out this trade. I think back over here, the NASDAQ was looking weird and I was just like, man, maybe I shouldn't. And then boom, it would have played out. So that's just how it goes when you're looking at hundreds of charts a day. You just chart things that just kind of forget about them. But it looked great, had a nice move. They had earnings. Not too much of a difference after earnings. You saying like an inverse head and shoulders? Yeah, I see that. Like this. Let me make it red. Right? Yeah. Inverse head and shoulders, if you can get above 65 bucks, I'd probably just target the measured move from the head to the neckline. Copy and paste it. Talking about 82 bucks if you break out. Gotta break out first though. AUTL. That's just pain. This is pain. Right after getting stopped. I mean, I believe I cut this trade out way before the actual stop. So thankfully for that, but terrible timing. But it really came all the way to the tightest part of the wedge before breaking out. You don't see that too often. I mean, there was really nowhere else for it to go. It's like, look at this wedge. One of the cleanest wedges I've ever seen. That's probably why I messed up on it, because typically wedges do not play out this perfectly, like all the way to the end. Yeah, it broke out of the wedge. It's back over 577. What was that even from? I think it was just like a little minor area. Oh, it was your resistance over here. Okay, hold above 577 and you could see 802, 947. Those are your next two resistances. You could just Fibonacci from the top of the wedge to the bottom like this and just go for your Fibonacci levels. The daily MACD is already well into the green. Some classic bullish divergence. Even on the RSI, you have some classic bullish divergence. You have a favorite pattern to watch play out? Great question. Favorite pattern. I mean, if we're not talking about harmonic patterns, and we're talking about Bulkowski patterns, which are most of the other patterns, like the double bottoms, head and shoulders, like those ones. I'd probably say, that's a really good question. Favorite cup and handles. I like playing cup and handles quite a bit. Yeah, I'd say cup and handles. That's probably my favorite pattern. But like real cup and handles. A lot of people don't understand what a real cup and handle is, but the real textbook cup and handles are pretty fun to play with when you break out the necklines and the handles. I don't know, I'm a nerd for even saying that, but I'm definitely a nerd when it comes to stocks, and I'm proud of it. But yeah, just I've seen cup and handles go crazy. There was it wasn't, and this was not a textbook cup and handle, so this is a bad example because I literally just said I like seeing like really clean cup and handles playing out. But last summer, when I was a very beginner trader, look at this. All right, this was last summer. Actually, it was a textbook cup and handle. What am I even saying? It acted weird, right? This is party, okay? This was your cup. That was your little handle. So you broke out of it. It was interesting. You broke out of the neckline, which was 272. You went all the way up to 364. I did take profits up here. You came all the way back down. But look what eventually happened. This fake out was kind of what got me out of it. I don't know why this fake out even happened. Because like you started going up, it was perfect. And then you broke this demand line and I got out of it. And then you did go a lot lower, but then it just went insane. Look at this. I mean, what? And it all started from like right over here. And technically, this cup and handle was a cup and handle inside a cup and handle. Because if we just move this over, this was also like, it's like cup and handle inception. It's crazy, right? It's like, this is a cup and then a handle, but then this is also a cup and then a handle. I don't know. It was weird. This was way before I started streaming. That's why I used to use like a bunch of different colored lines and these little things for the cup and handles instead of this. So you can tell my charting was different. It was July of last year. So yeah. I used to trade so many cup and handles last summer. Like so many charts had cup and handles. Like how a lot of charts have double bottoms right now. Last summer, so many charts had cup and handles. Like after the COVID crash, they just kind of rounded out, if you remember. We already talked about AUTL. How's Tilray looking? I think Tilray looks great. I've been talking about pot stocks for like a week now. I've been talking about them since before they bounced. I think Tilray looks amazing. Why is this not loading? I don't know. My Mac is acting real slow. It's been lagging ever since I dropped the T. Tilray, you confirmed your classic bullish divergence. You bounced out of historical support 1558. It looks good. A lot of divergence, support bounce, hold above 1558. I mean, that's the historical ice line. These are the things you look for. Eventually, it could go insane. Again, you know, obviously, you're hoping for some sort of legislation, but like these are the major reversal areas, and you're reversing at a major reversal area. So yeah. Activision, we'll take a look. I was trying to tip you and ask about the spilled cup and handle pattern on T. So I'll have to figure out my PayPal and try again tomorrow next stream. Good one, Neutron Flux Labs. You got me. Appreciate it. Yeah, that was rough. I thought everything would get sticky, but it's kind of actually dried up pretty nicely. My mouse pad is still wet though. Alright, Activision, the cup and handle. Oh my, yeah, I think Mitch Ray has been talking about this for ages. Definitely. The cup, and then the handle, and then the markup in price, right? Legendary stuff. And this has been since 2018, so this has been going on for a long time. And then, wait, what? This was the COVID crash? You can't even like really even see it, but this was the COVID crash. And even kind of like, again, like after the COVID crash, you had like a rounding bottom, right? It just happened to so many stocks. So even longer than this. Oh, so we have another cup and handle inception where there's cup and handles inside of cup and handles, like party. Is it even bigger? I mean, I've been looking at this one. Zoom out, years long. Yeah, that I was looking at the right one, right? Oh, okay. I thought you meant like look back to like 2005 or something. But there's some really long-term patterns. There is one stock that does have like gold has a really large cup and handle. Let me show you gold itself. Look. Bit of load. Where is it? Gold is like in an insanely long cup and handle. Gold, this is from 2012. This is gold. Up, handle. Kind of like a scuffed neckline. I mean, it would be really, really weird, but you could just go with like horizontal support resistance. Chat is delayed. Oh. Yeah, I think there was a stock as well that had, was it maybe General Electric? I can't remember. No, I don't think so. Let's go on the monthly. No, definitely not. It's a pretty interesting chart. It's kind of like a staircase. I don't know. I feel like we're just kind of messing around at this point. Futures up a little bit. Bitcoin up a little bit. But yeah, tonight was a very, very eventful stream. It sucks that, you know, we didn't have like the normal amount of viewers in the stream tonight. That's just what happens when I take a few days off because I'm sick. But for the people who did show up to the stream tonight, I hope that it was packed with education, embarrassing moments, and fun talks and chart analysis. I hope that you got something from the stream. Whether it was the day trading education, me dropping my tea all over everything, or talking about 3-year-old cup and handles. Thank you all for coming out to the stream. It feels amazing to be back and streaming. I really, really do miss streaming. I just have not been able to stream. I've been so sick. You might still be able to tell my voice, but I'm feeling way better now, thankfully. And yeah, it's been a rough like 5-6 days, but we're back in action. Let's crush it for the rest of the week. Good start to the week. Let's see what tomorrow holds. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for all the support. Thanks, King. If you have any liquids still in your MacBook, spill ice, purple alcohol in the same area after taking out your battery. Need help on getting your battery out. It's a single shell. Yeah, I'll take a look at my MacBook after the stream. I'll try to remember that as well, or just look back in the chat. Isopropyl alcohol, 90% and greater. Alright, I'll take a look into it. I hope that, I don't think there's any openings on the bottom. I think the only place where tea could have spilled into is my speakers. That might be the only issue. But yeah, regardless, appreciate all the support. Hit that like button if you didn't, hit that subscribe button. If you want to join premium alerts, that's the first link in the description. Join the Discord, that's also in the description. Just look at the description for all the links. Have a great night. See you tomorrow at 9 p.m. EST. If my laptop works. Peace out.